Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in, amma ba'd, fa'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Inna Allaha wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi, ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin abdika wa rasulik. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Maulana Muhammadin wa ala ali Sayyidina Maulana Muhammadin wa barik wa sallim. Alhamdulillah, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us the tawfiq to enter the second ashara, the second 10 days. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our 10 days from us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us immense barakah in the next 2 asharas that are remaining. This is the ashara of maghfirah, forgiveness. So first general a point about Ramadan is that we should keep mindful that the last ashara is a time of the special ibadah of i'tikaf. I'tikaf comes from the root word akafa yaqifu, which means to stick to the masjid. So Prophet ﷺ, obviously Ramadan is the most special time, such a big ni'mah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as we've been reflecting upon. And in the last 10 days, Prophet ﷺ would make more effort. He would double the effort at the end. And then he would perform the i'tikaf. That's why we call it the sunnah i'tikaf, the 10 days, because the Prophet ﷺ stayed the entire 10 days, he would just be at the masjid. So all of us should think about it, plan it. It's a azim, it's a great ibadah. And it's amazing that, what does it call? I'tikaf just means just being at the masjid. That's all it means. Just sticking to the masjid, just staying at the masjid. Can it get easier than that? What more can we be asked of? Just come sit at the masjid. Is that too much to ask? That's too difficult, guys. Sitting at the masjid. I'm just saying it like that, just for us to understand that it's a great worship. Even if when you're sitting at the masjid, when you're just sleeping at the masjid, when you're just staying at the masjid, you're getting rewards. Every time you stay at the masjid, generally you get rewards. There's angels making dua for you because you're at the masjid. Whenever you're at the masjid, it's always blessed. But then, if in i'tikaf, it's even more. Also, according to Hanafi madhab, i'tikaf can be done throughout the whole year. Okay, and i'tikaf could even be for a second. For Hanafi madhab. In the other madhahib, it's different. You can't do i'tikaf without fasting. But for us, for Hanafi madhab, you don't have to even be fasting. You could do i'tikaf without fasting. Whenever you come to the masjid, even all of us now, make intention of i'tikaf. When you walked in, if you didn't have that intention, you make it now. Everyone's made it? Now you're getting double rewards. Intention. See the power of the mind. You walked in, you didn't have niyyah of i'tikaf. I just reminded us that we made niyyah, now we're getting double rewards. First you're getting 1x. Now you doubled x'd it. Just niyyah, power of the mind. And our whole deen works like that. Just intention. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to take advantage of this deen. That's based on your niyyah and so inshallah you all gonna come for it. Alhamdulillah, we have some people staying in i'tikaf 10 days. Alhamdulillah, we have great arrangements here. Even if you can't do all the sunnah i'tikaf, staying all 10 days, do the weekends. You can bring your laptop here, bring your work over here. And if you work from home, you understand, you can even step out. Maybe you can stay here and then go home, rest, and then come back. You could do any arrangements that fits you. That's called nafal i'tikaf. The sunnah i'tikaf is where you're locked in the whole 10 days. Nafal i'tikaf would be where you go in and out. All those they all work. Okay, so we need to spend a lot of time. Because the great night is coming, Laylatul Qadr, in these 10 days, and it's any of the 10 nights. So by doing i'tikaf, it's a great way of receiving from this blessing, from the night, because you'll be here that night. You'll be here every night anyway, right, for Tarawih? Inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant all of us immense reward. Make this month a month of forgiveness, a month of paradise for all of us, inshallah. Now, coming to the book, we did the 10 outward principles. What was the last one? Today is the 11th night, so I must be on which principle? 11th principle. What was the last one, the 10th principle? Adhering to the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yes. Okay. So these 10 principles, by the way, if some Muslim adheres to them in their true sense, I was just thinking about this a while ago. I was thinking if somebody Muslim just adheres to the 10 principles, you would be you'd be a strong Muslim. So may Allah give us tawfiq. Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Don't let anyone deprive us of the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Don't get knowledge from the wrong sources. The main way how a person gets deviated, every Muslim knows we have to follow the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But what deviates is this wrong information, this incorrect knowledge that comes our way, and then we accept it. Now, the next 10 principles, they're about inward. So Imam Ghazali rahimahullah has titled it, Purifying the Heart from Evil Character. So he's going to tell us 10 things that every Muslim should remove them from their heart. So a person has, evils. Obviously, a man has potential for good and evil, and you have evil diseases, spiritual diseases, and you have spiritual beauties. You have to inculcate the spiritual beauties and get rid of the spiritual diseases. That's man's responsibility. It's a fard, just like dhuhr salah is fard. So he tells us the first one, first principle. First principle, greed. That a person shouldn't be greedy. So you should control your desires. Okay. Even the permissible desires, things that are halal, we should limit ourselves to even halal even. Don't have too much halal. A person who has all the halal, everything Allah has made halal, you always have. Consume everything that's halal. Because where halal ends, that's where haram starts. So if you're a person, you always follow your desires to its fullest, then you can also, the territory goes into haram as well. So even the halal, that's why even now, why is Allah subhanahu look at the hikmah. Allah subhanahu is making us fast. Why are we told not to eat? What's wrong with eating, right? Eating is something permissible. Because we're told to stop from our halal desires so we can have the strength to stop from haram desires. Make sense? Yeah, and the food and the eating, this is one of the strongest. When you can have control over this desire, then you have control over all other desires. It's one of the leading ones. So Ghazali rahimahullah, he mentions overeating and greed for food. So although this is about greed, but he makes it particular for overeating and greed for food. He's saying don't overeat. And he mentions in here many things. Please read it, inshallah. But he's saying that eating and wanting lots of food, that's a root problem. Then after that, he's saying that's how you go after the dunya so much. That's your overall problem. Once you eat too much, then you have lack of motivation for ibadah. Then you're more motivated to dunya. Then you want more jobs. Then you want more money. Then you want more fame. And he connects it with everything. He goes, it all boils down to food. And subhanAllah, that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes us fast during the month of Ramadan. We're getting right at the root of the problem. So when somebody pays attention to Ramadan, it can really change a person completely. May Allah make that the case for us. Then he goes, the benefits of eating less. I'll quickly run through this list. Number one, purification of the heart and profound understanding of the deen. If you're eating less food, it gives purification of the heart. So look, subhanAllah, we're doing it in Ramadan. Number two, softness of the heart. Number three, humbling the nafs and elimination of pride and disobedience. It humbles the nafs. All of a sudden you get strength to do ibadat. Number four, a person should taste some of the difficulties of the hereafter in this world so that he can warn and frighten the nafs of its difficulties. It's like depriving yourself, so it's a means of seeing difficulty. Number five, crushing of all the desires which are the root of sins and control over the nafs, which only invites to evil. Number six, the body becomes lighter, which facilitates tahajjud and ibadah. And sleep does not easily overcome one, since overeating causes sleepiness. Right? Those people who have lots of iftar, right? You notice, so if you have lots of iftar, then when you come here, it'll be difficult, right? Tarawih becomes very difficult. If you have less, by the way, the hufaz eat less. Those people who lead tarawih, they eat less. If they eat more, then it's hard for them to lead. So you should eat, moderately, even with fasting. We eat moderately, even at suhoor, even at iftar. So the full benefit of the fast is achieved. Decrease in expenditure. He's saying, look, if you eat less, look, you're spending less money. You want to save your money, right? One way to save money is start eating a bit less. And also we'd add to that what we mentioned in the 10th principle, eating halal. Eat halal, organic, and less. May Allah give us tawfiq. That's the first principle, and that's particularly about food. But greed, you shouldn't follow your impulse. Don't follow your desires. Whenever your desire, when your nafs is saying like I really want something, then you shouldn't take that thing, just because your nafs is saying it. I'll tell you a quick story and I'll close. And there was a sheikh. He didn't have food. He was hungry, and that's how people used to be. They would serve the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but they didn't have means. So he was hungry, and his students noticed that he's very tired and maybe he's so hungry. So one of his students, he asked him that, are you hungry? And he accidentally revealed it. He was trying to hide it, because that's how Muslims are. We don't reveal our needs to people. So he was trying to hide it, and he's like, yeah, I didn't eat. So then one of the students got up and left. And then he came back and brought the food. So then the sheikh didn't take it. Why? Because he said, when the student got up, he said, because his nafs knew that maybe the student got up to get me food. So he didn't want to follow his nafs. So he didn't. So the student was like, oh, sheikh, you don't want the food? The sheikh had eaten. Right? So he brought him the food. The Shaykh said, I don't want to eat. So then he took the food back. And then he came back and gave it back to the Shaykh. And then he ate it. Why did he eat it the second time? Because the first time his nafs said that, oh, he went to get you food. So he didn't want to act according to his nafs. He's like, I don't want this food. And then the second time he thought that the student went to go put the food back. So then he came back and then he had the food. Because he thought that he went to go put the food back, but he turned around and gave the food to him. So the the ulama and mashayikh, they would even really focus in on not whatever, if your nafs is pushing on things, you don't go for it. Just to tease your nafs. So you really want this thing, guess what? Even if it's halal, you're still not getting it. So if you put your reins on the nafs like that, then you start to get some level of control. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq.